Right into this. You know the drill. You've spent years, maybe even decades, grinding away for that impressive degree. You know the one. Maybe it's in finance or law or engineering. You've played the game, climbed the corporate ladder, and built this highly respectable career for yourself. But what if that exact degree, that ultimate symbol of your hard-won status, is actually secretly blinding you? What if it's the literal reason you are completely overlooking your absolute most profitable opportunities? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating phenomenon, the embarrassing side hustle. And we are going to explore how your own ego might literally be costing you money. So, is your degree secretly costing you money? I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive, right? But seriously, think about it for a second. Have you ever had an idea for making some extra cash, but it felt, well, maybe a little too embarrassing to actually pursue? Today, we're going to uncover the hidden psychology driving our business decisions. We're going to look at why the smartest, most highly educated people among us often just turn a blind eye to real wealth, simply because the source of that wealth doesn't look the way they thought it would. It's a massive mental block that traps thousands of professionals, and recognizing it is the very first step to getting out. Okay, so what's actually happening in our heads? It all comes down to a psychological quirk called status quo bias. Basically, our brains absolutely love predictability. They crave it. So if you have a high status degree, your professional identity, being the finance professional or the engineer, becomes this incredibly powerful status quo. When you even think about deviating from that established path into something society might see as, say, lower status, a huge internal alarm goes off in your head. It just feels wrong to your brain, even if it happens to be completely right for your bank account. This bias makes us cling desperately to what's familiar and socially approved, and we do this, crazy enough, at the direct expense of greater profit and innovation. Now, this status quo bias, it actually feeds right into an even deeper, stickier psychological trap, cognitive dissonance. You've probably heard the term. It's that incredibly uncomfortable mental tension that pops up when your actions contradict your values or when you're trying to hold two totally conflicting beliefs. Imagine a highly educated person who suddenly stumbles into massive, unexpected success in a blue-collar side hustle. What happens? Well, their brain just starts wrestling. It experiences intense mental friction. You have this highly lucrative opportunity completely clashing with a deeply held, high-status professional identity, and the result is just a massive amount of internal discomfort. Honestly, it's like trying to run two totally incompatible operating systems in your brain at the exact same time. Just imagine the internal mental tug-of-war going on here. Over on side A, you have your core belief, I am a respected finance professional. But then over on side B, the reality of your actions is, I make great money washing cars. These are two completely opposing ideas trying to occupy the exact same space in your brain. So how does the brain resolve this severe discomfort? Well, rather than updating its core identity to just accept both truths, the brain usually takes the easy way out. It downplays the value of the side hustle, it rationalizes that the new venture is somehow inferior, it might even prompt you to hide it entirely, because at the end of the day, it is simply easier for our brains to dismiss the extra money than to challenge a deeply held rigid belief about who we think we are. To bring this down to earth, let's look at a real-world story. There was this finance graduate who recently confessed on Reddit, saying, I loved the work, the freedom, the direct impact, but I kept it a secret from most friends and family. Think about that. This guy had a prestigious degree and a great corporate job, but he started a mobile car detailing side hustle, and he loved everything about it. Yet he felt this extreme, crushing embarrassment. He actually hid it from the people closest to him because his identity was just so firmly anchored to his finance degree and his respectable career. The mere idea of being perceived as the car wash guy created such immense cognitive dissonance for him that he felt he had to operate completely in the shadows. So what was this whole ego trap actually costing him? Or actually, what was he trying so desperately to hide? Get this, his part-time detailing income was almost equal to his full-time corporate salary. Think about the absolute absurdity of that for a second. His status quo bias pushed him so hard to maintain this pristine image of the finance professional that he actively downplayed a highly profitable, deeply fulfilling venture. He was quite literally hiding a massive source of money simply because it didn't fit his perceived social status. He was letting what other people might think totally dictate his financial reality and his personal joy. Which brings us right back to you. I want to ask you a really vital question. Are you actively avoiding opportunities simply because they don't fit into some preconceived notion of prestige? Is your attachment to a certain image secretly draining your potential wealth? Are you passing up on things that could significantly boost your financial freedom solely because they don't look like that traditional version of success you were taught to expect? Look, I know it's a really tough mirror to look into, but recognizing this blind spot, That is exactly where real growth begins. If you answered yes to that, or hey, even if you just hesitated a little bit, don't sweat it. The good news is there's a way to break free from this mental trap. We call it the Value First Audit. This is an actionable framework designed specifically to help you align your pursuits with true quantifiable value, rather than just worrying about perceived social status. It's all about rewiring your brain to recognize a great opportunity, no matter what kind of uniform it happens to be wearing. All right, here is where the rubber meets the road. Step 1. Define your core values beyond prestige. You've got to be brutally honest with yourself here. What actually matters to you? Is it financial independence, having a direct impact, flexibility, being creative? Pin that down. Then, step 2. Evaluate opportunities by value, not status. Whenever something new comes across your desk, immediately assess it against those core values you just defined, and consciously, intentionally ignore how society might perceive it. And finally, step 3, which is an absolute game changer, reframe your identity and embrace the hyphenate. Consciously expand your definition of success. You do not have to choose one or the other. You can absolutely be the finance professional entrepreneur or the lawyer detailer. Adopting this hyphenated identity is the best way to directly and effectively kill that uncomfortable cognitive dissonance. To actually put this into practice every day, I've got 3 quick takeaways to help you escape that ego trap for good. First up, quantify the hidden value. You need to meticulously track all the benefits, both financial and non-financial, of any venture you find yourself wanting to downplay. Look at the hard numbers and the real freedom it brings to your life. Second, seek unbiased feedback. You've got to find mentors outside of your immediate social circle. Look for people who value actual results and execution way more than social perception or prestige. And third, embrace the portfolio career mindset. Recognize that having diverse income streams is a massive strength in today's world. It's a superpower for sure, not a weakness you should be ashamed of. To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a quick, kind of provocative self-test. Ask yourself honestly right now, did I dismiss a recent opportunity because it didn't align with my perceived professional status? Did I feel a sense of shame or embarrassment even considering it, despite its obvious potential benefits? Am I prioritizing an outdated definition of success over tangible, real-world growth? Look, overcoming the embarrassing side hustle isn't about throwing away your hard-earned education, not at all. It's simply about expanding your definition of success. By understanding how status quo bias and cognitive dissonance actually manipulate your choices, you can unlock hidden opportunities and start building wealth entirely on your own terms. Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating psychological trap with me today. Keep an open mind, look for value everywhere, and most importantly, keep building.